Introduction: The art of becoming unshakable. Have you ever longed to be someone who doesn't shatter when the world falls apart? Someone who remains calm while others panic, who feels pain but isn't ruled by it, who walks through chaos as if guided by an invisible strength. The truth is, most of us spend our lives chasing control over how people treat us, how things unfold, and how life rewards us. Yet the Stoics, those ancient sculptors of the mind, taught a truth few dare to live by: peace isn't found in control. It's found in mastery of the self. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is not a call to become cold or indifferent. It is a call to awaken, to understand the difference between what belongs to you and what does not. The Stoics didn't seek to escape pain, they sought to transform it. They didn't deny emotion, they purified it through reason and awareness. These 12 Stoic lessons are not theories. They are weapons, forged through centuries of human struggle, meant to help you become unshakable. By the end, you won't just understand Stoicism, you'll feel it breathing through you, guiding you, sculpting your strength from the inside out. Lesson 1: Control what you can, release what you can't. The Stoics began with a single, piercing truth: most of what disturbs you lies outside your control. You cannot control what others say, do, or think. You cannot control the weather, the economy, or the outcome of every plan you make. Yet you try endlessly, anxiously, desperately, and in doing so, you hand your peace over to chaos. Epictetus wrote, "Some things are up to us, and some are not." It sounds simple, almost trivial, until you realize that nearly all your suffering stems from confusing the two. When you obsess over outcomes, you abandon your inner command center. But when you focus on what is yours, your thoughts, your actions, your values, the storms outside lose their power. Imagine losing your job, being rejected, or facing betrayal. The instinct is to resist, to rage against what happened. But what if, instead, you paused and said, "This event is outside my control, but my response, that is entirely mine." That moment is liberation. The Stoic doesn't numb themselves to pain, they reclaim agency within it. The one who controls their reaction controls their destiny. Every time you practice this, every time you choose calm over chaos, clarity over anger, you strengthen the muscle of serenity. You may not control the world, but you can always command yourself. And that, the Stoics say, is where freedom begins. Lesson 2: Amor fati, love your fate. To the untrained mind, fate feels like an enemy. It takes, it surprises, it breaks. But to the Stoic, fate is a sculptor chiseling you into who you must become. Nietzsche revived this ancient Stoic phrase, amor fati, love your fate. It does not mean passive acceptance, it means radical embrace. When life doesn't go your way, the unwise ask, "Why me?" The Stoic asks, "How can this serve me?" Every loss becomes a lesson, every setback a source of strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. To love your fate is to become that fire. Consider a soldier whose mission fails, or a parent whose child disappoints them. The natural impulse is despair, but the Stoic sees something deeper: an opportunity to train endurance, compassion, humility. They say, this, too, is fuel. When you practice amor fati, you stop fighting life's current and start moving with it. Pain becomes part of the path. Every detour reveals a hidden road. You realize nothing was wasted: not the heartbreak, not the failure, not even the waiting. When you love your fate, you stop living like a victim of circumstance and start living like a student of destiny. Lesson 3: Memento Mori, remember you will die. To most people, death is the great terror, a shadow they try to ignore. But to the Stoic, death is the great awakener. Memento Mori, remember you must die, is not a morbid obsession but a call to live. When you confront mortality, you stop postponing your soul. You see how fragile and precious each moment truly is. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Death is not the enemy, unconscious living is. Think of how often you delay happiness. I'll rest when I succeed, I'll love when it's safe, I'll live when things calm down. But what if tomorrow never comes? The Stoics knew that death gives life its edge. It strips away trivialities and forces you to ask, what truly matters? Imagine each day as a lifetime: waking as birth, sleeping as death. Would you waste it on resentment, gossip, or fear? Or would you fill it with meaning? To remember death is to honor life. When you keep mortality close, gratitude becomes your natural state. You stop drifting and start living deliberately. Lesson 4: The obstacle is the way. Every difficulty hides a doorway. What looks like a setback is often a secret initiation. The Stoics believed that life tests us not to destroy us, but to refine us. Seneca wrote, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." This is not mere poetry, it's practical alchemy. Each obstacle presents you with a choice: resist it and remain bitter, or use it and become better. When you see life through this lens, even pain becomes productive. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this teaching me?" Consider Thomas Edison, who after countless failed experiments, said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That is Stoicism in motion, converting failure into wisdom. Your obstacles are not roadblocks, they are raw materials. The Stoic transforms every wound into wisdom, every trial into strength. You can't always choose your challenges, but you can always choose your response. The obstacle isn't a detour from the path, it is the path. Lesson 5: Discipline over emotion. Every man and woman faces a silent war within, the conflict between what they feel and what they know they must do. The Stoics understood that emotion itself is not the enemy, the lack of discipline in the face of emotion is. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." We live in an age where feelings rule. If something feels uncomfortable, we avoid it. If it feels good, we chase it. But the Stoic path teaches you to act not from impulse but from intention. Discipline, then, is not suppression, it is guidance. It is the quiet strength that keeps you moving when your heart trembles and your will wavers. The disciplined man does not silence his emotion, he harnesses it. Imagine waking up at 5 a.m. on a cold morning, your body heavy, your mind begging for comfort. Emotion says, stay. Discipline says, rise. That single act of rising is rebellion, a declaration that you are not ruled by fleeting moods. Over time, this repetition shapes character. You become calm under pressure, patient in waiting, firm in temptation. You begin to see that discipline is not a cage but a key. It frees you from the tyranny of weakness. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity. For he is not permitted to prove himself." Each day that you choose discipline over emotion, you build a foundation of inner authority. The world cannot give you that kind of strength, it must be earned in the stillness of your own mind. Lesson 6: Choose virtue, not comfort. Comfort whispers lies. It tells you that safety is peace, that ease is happiness, that convenience is fulfillment. But the Stoics knew that true peace doesn't come from comfort, it comes from virtue. Virtue is the alignment between what you believe and what you do. It is the choice to act rightly even when it costs you. Marcus Aurelius lived in the constant storm of politics and war, yet he wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." His power came not from his throne, but from his integrity. Comfort weakens you quietly, virtue fortifies you silently. Consider how easily we trade integrity for approval, saying what pleases others instead of what we know is right, choosing pleasure instead of purpose. But comfort never satisfies for long. It numbs. Virtue, on the other hand, gives life depth. The Stoic doesn't seek pleasure in luxury, he seeks peace in character. When you act with honesty, courage, and compassion, you are living in harmony with nature. The Stoic definition of virtue. The ancients believed that a virtuous soul stands firm in any storm because it draws strength from within. Comfort fades the moment it's disturbed. Virtue remains even in ruin. When you live by virtue, you stop chasing temporary relief and start cultivating eternal steadiness. Lesson 7: Perception shapes reality. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The Stoics understood a profound truth: your suffering often doesn't come from the event itself, but from the story you tell yourself about it. You interpret, exaggerate, dramatize, and in doing so, you make the burden heavier than it is. Perception is the lens through which you experience the world. And the quality of your life depends entirely on the quality of that lens. You can't always choose your circumstances, but you can choose the meaning you attach to them. Take two people facing the same hardship, one collapses in despair, the other finds resolve. The difference is not luck, it's perception. The Stoic learns to pause before reacting, to ask, is this truly bad, or is it simply uncomfortable? By reframing, you reclaim power. You begin to see challenges as training grounds, not punishments. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This is not mere optimism, it is mastery of perspective. You do not lie to yourself, you lead yourself. You become the interpreter of events, not their victim. And when you control the lens, the world loses its power to distort your peace. Lesson 8: Practice voluntary discomfort. Luxury weakens the spirit. Ease dulls the edge. The Stoics practiced discomfort not because they were masochists, but because they understood that without resistance, strength decays. Seneca would occasionally sleep on the floor, eat plain food, and wear simple clothes, asking himself, "Is this what I feared?" It was his way of reminding the soul, comfort is temporary, but character is eternal. When you choose discomfort voluntarily, you become immune to the fear of it. You no longer panic when life becomes hard because you've already trained in the art of hardship. Think of the athlete who trains in the rain, the monk who meditates in silence, the entrepreneur who fails and rebuilds again. They all share one thing: they have befriended discomfort. And because of that, they move through life with calm resilience. Voluntary discomfort doesn't mean misery, it means mastery. It's the cold shower that sharpens your mind, the honest conversation you'd rather avoid, the moment you face rejection and still move forward. The Stoic knows that a life built on comfort collapses at the first tremor. But a life trained in adversity stands unshaken. By choosing discomfort today, you prepare yourself to meet tomorrow with grace. Lesson 9: Be indifferent to praise and blame. The crowd is fickle. One day it loves you, the next it tears you down. The Stoics understood that if your peace depends on others' opinions, you will never be free. Epictetus said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Praise and blame are both traps: one feeds your ego, the other wounds it. But both bind you to the judgment of others. To live by Stoic principles is to anchor yourself in self-respect, not reputation. What others say of you is a reflection of them, not of you. Consider how exhausting it is to chase approval, how it shapes your speech, your clothes, your choices. The Stoic rejects this slavery. They act according to principle, not applause. Seneca wrote, "I judge you unfortunate because you have never lived through misfortune. You have passed through life without an opponent. No one can ever know what you are capable of." Criticism tests you, it reveals where you still depend on validation. When you can walk through both insult and praise with the same steady heart, you've discovered true freedom. You are no longer a leaf tossed by the winds of opinion, but a rooted tree, standing firm in your own soil. Lesson 10: Live in accord with nature. To live in harmony with nature is to align with the order of things, to stop fighting reality. The Stoics didn't mean hugging trees, they meant accepting the flow of existence. Everything in nature does its part without complaint. The river flows, the sun rises. Lesson 11: Serve the whole, not the ego. The Stoics believed that we are all parts of one great organism, humanity. To serve the whole is to serve yourself, because we are not isolated beings but threads in a vast tapestry. Marcus Aurelius said, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." When you live only for your ego, your status, your pleasure, your gain, you shrink your soul. But when you act for the good of others, you align with the rational order of the universe. Service expands your perspective, it purifies ambition. Think of the moments you've helped without reward, the quiet joy that follows, the peace that lingers. That is harmony with nature. The Stoic does not serve for recognition, they serve because it is right. In doing so, they transcend self-centered living. They understand that the more they give, the less life can take from them. Ego clings, wisdom contributes. When you replace me with we, you unlock a power that can weather any storm. The Stoic heart knows that greatness is not in domination, but in contribution. Lesson 12: The freedom of acceptance. In the end, all Stoic wisdom converges into one truth: freedom is acceptance. Acceptance does not mean resignation, it means clarity. It is the courage to see life as it is, not as you wish it to be. When you stop demanding that life fit your expectations, you begin to flow with its reality. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together." Acceptance is the art of living in peace with the unpredictable. It turns chaos into calm, loss into lesson, pain into presence. Acceptance is not the end of strength, it is its highest form. The Stoic who accepts does not stop striving, they simply stop suffering from what they cannot change. They act with full effort and release the outcome. That release is liberation. You are no longer chained to what-ifs. You are free to live fully, to love deeply, to act boldly. Acceptance turns existence into grace. And when you reach this point, when you accept not with defeat but with wisdom, you finally understand what it means to be unshakable. Conclusion: the sculpting of the soul. This is the essence of Stoicism: not to escape emotion, but to master it, not to reject pain, but to transform it. Life will test you, break you, humble you. But each trial is a sculptor's chisel shaping your character. True strength is not found in perfection but in awareness of your thoughts, your reactions, your power to choose. The Stoics remind us, you cannot always control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. So, as you step back into the noise of the world, remember this: peace is not found in the absence of chaos, but in the presence of clarity. Control your mind, love your fate, accept what is, and live with virtue. That is how you become unshakable. That is how you sculpt your grace. This has been Sculpted Grace. Until next time, stay grounded, stay free.